Bonjour everyone, welcome to another diecast showcase. So today I'm going to be checking out yet again my most recent thrift store finds, and we'll also be checking out a couple of recent store finds, cracking a few pieces open, and yeah, just a general celebration of diecast collecting. So without further ado, we will get started. First, as usual, we'll start with my thrift store finds. So, did stumble upon quite a few interesting pieces, quite a few vintage things, some oddballs, and yeah, so we got a nice little bag of goodies to check out, basically. So I'll get started as usual from least to most interesting, at least to me. First piece that I found is actually, I think, the second time that I find this piece. I did find it previously, but it was pretty battered up, and this one's in much better condition. Just some no-name casting, but it's just the casting itself that just doesn't come along a whole lot if we're talking about the car model. So we're talking about this little Toyota Celica. This is the ST182 model. So the ST182 and ST185s were the early 90s Celica. This would be a ST182, as it is clearly not a GT4 version. No hood vents, no white arches, and it is the lift back version of the car. So yeah, very basic casting, no dashboard, you can see right through it, but you know, be a cool piece to customize eventually. Get rid of those gaudy graphics, the super racing and whatnot there. And yeah, you have the Yatming looking wheels basically on there. Very nondescript base. It's just got a number and made in China. And but it's pretty clean. Cast details are very minimalistic, but overall proportions are fairly accurate. We are missing the quarter windows here, but that is just part of the cast, I guess. So yeah, there we go. So that's the first Lucy I have found. I also did find a piece from Real Toy, which doesn't happen all that often. And we're talking about this military spec, early spec G-Wagon, two-door. So here's your base. Obviously it's going to be really hard to focus because it's chrome. And as you can see from the base, it's a 1/57th scale. So, you know, obviously you got the slightly gaudy Real Toy wheels. They are off-road spec, and there's a couple of these I did have to clean up before showing because they were absolutely fully dirty, dusty. So nothing disgusting, but just like, you know, they spent some time in the sandbox. This is one of them. So this one does come with a little hitch. It's got the police livery, as you can see. It's got the little cherries on top there, the loudspeaker front and rear, and yeah, nice Mercedes grille. It's part of that chrome base. It is pitted a little bit, but overall pretty good condition, especially paint wise. And if you had seen the condition of this before I gave it a quick wash, yeah, you wouldn't have thought it would have come out this good. I mean, there's still a little bit of crud in those in the tread of those off-road wheels, although they're low profile off-road wheels, which is kind of weird. And to go with it, I also managed to pick up this tiny little majorette, vintage majorette trailer. It's barely legible, but it's written fire rescue on here, so this is probably a little water tank. Probably came with some type of fire department vehicle. Here's your base. Not sure if it's made in France because it's honestly not written, but looking at the very, very early wheels that are on here, I'm going to assume it probably is. And there you go. You can hitch it with the Real Toy police car, and makes a nice little combo. yeah, so there you go. A little trailer there. Put it beside the Celica. Put this nice big old G-Wagon right here. Next up, did manage to find also a fairly beat up Maisto, but it's casting I did not have, so I did decide to keep it. It's complete. This is a little ML 320, first gen ML, and yeah, so you can see that yeah, this is another one that's extremely dirty. I cleaned it up as best I could, but yeah, it's got a crack in the windscreen. Definitely the paint's seen better days, but it's pretty good casting. Plus, it has these Maisto wheels, the older version of the off-road wheels that are honestly probably the best Maisto wheels out of mainline that have been made. And these wheels are still in production today, but they're just simply convex instead of being concave. You can see the lip there, and they just made these concave instead of convex because it's cheaper to just plate them as opposed to having to actually have a device to go ahead and paint the inner rim without painting the tires, so more of a tedious process. So no details per se if we're talking about tampos, but fairly good casting, nicely proportioned. No scale on here, but yeah, there you go. Maisto Mercedes-Benz ML320. So we'll put this next to the real toy. I think that's only fitting. Alright, next. Oh yeah. Speaking of oddballs, I did pick up this very old, well, fairly old Lesney super fast forklift with the working arm and both the stakes on there, so that's pretty cool. I'm going to use this as a diorama piece probably for one of the garages I have. So here's your base, kind of hard to make out, but we'll try our best. So we have here the Sambron Jacklift, which would be the name of this contraption. It's got a 77 copyright, made in England, and yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's in fairly good condition, and the plastic is surprisingly not all that brittle. I'm not gonna force it in any way, shape, or form, but you know, it works, and yeah, it's a pretty heavy piece too for the size of the thing. So I'm not sure what the scale would be, but seems to be a pretty big lift. So put this guy on the other side here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, another older Matchbox that I did find. Not that old, but it is definitely the one that's probably worst for wear out of these finds. We're talking about the Isuzu Rodeo, or Rodeo, however you want to pronounce it, and it's got the roadside rescue livery on there. I really like the fact that it's got another wheel on top here, and it's got the push bar. Not a whole lot of details if we're talking lights or anything, and it is missing an accessory on the back, which I do not remember what it is. It does have the hitch still, so that's pretty cool. And suspension's extremely tired. It's got the off-road 8-dot wheels. Favorite era of Matchbox for me, the 8-dot era, before Tyco kind of ruined it. And yeah, this actually carried over well into the Tyco era and even past it when they were doing the Hero City and all that. And yeah, this is going to be I guess a bench warmer for now. I do intend eventually to find a mint one or a carded one, but for now this will have to do, and it's honestly the only Isuzu off-road vehicle that I actually have, at least unless I'm not remembering one. So that's pretty cool. Last Matchbox. Yeah, last Matchbox that I find is something a little bit more on the newer side. We're talking about the infamous Crown Vic Panther platform. So the CVPI, and yeah, it looks pretty good. It's got the Matchbox Fire Department livery on it. It's got those kind of like old school steely looking wheels. Got the little push bar on the front, lens lights from the window portion, the modern light bar, well, fairly modern light bar. It's not the best casting of the Crown Vic, but it's honestly really not bad, and this one's in great shape. It does not have the opening doors, but some of the opening rear doors, which some of these have. But yeah, it's the first time I managed to pick up this casting, and I mean, mind you, this and the Celica, as well as a few more that are going to follow, are all basically dollar cars. $1.25 Canadian as singles, and comes up to about just under $1 US basically. So I find this is a pretty good piece to pick up in views of its condition. The other ones, these two and these two, plus the little majorette trailer, those are all part of a grab bag, or a couple three grab bags basically that I picked up, and those are the ones that I retained. Gave a couple to my daughter, and put maybe 5 or 6, maybe 7 in the for sale for trade pile, including a bunch of agricultural stuff, some Earl pieces. So I just don't collect that kind of stuff, and I've already got a big collection as it is, at least for the amount of room I have. So now we're gonna fall into some Hot Wheels, some pretty cool, interesting pieces that I managed to pick up. First piece, again, gonna start with the least interesting ones, but this I really wanted to get. I do have an older Blackwall beat up version of this in the classic red with blue accessories. Now we've got the redux of the Subi Rescue Ranger and a whole bunch of other names. There's no name under this one, but it's got the big blown twin carb V8 engine sticking out, Hot Wheels electric, and it's got the yellow plastic accessories on there, light blue tint window, and the blue 5 spokes of even diameter chrome base. So it's pretty nice. I like it. When it's in fair condition, I mean, the paint's pretty much all there. The engine was a little bit loose. I did have to glue that back on, because I was fearing it would just fall off. So yeah, got the side pipes. Here's the rear. Not a whole lot of details if we're talking about lights again, but since it's got the front chrome piece, that kind of works. And yeah, the livery's pretty much all there except for little bits and pieces of it on the sides here. So obviously not mint, but still a pretty cool find. Next one that I picked up, because I didn't have a version of this cast, and I just saw this near mint one, and I was like, yeah, okay, I gotta pick this up now. So we are talking about the little mini truck with the big ICE in-car entertainment in the back, 5 subs, 2 amps, the engine popping out of that hood seems to be a little 4-banger on ITBs. Front end does look very Mazda-esque, like the B-Series Mazda pickups. It's got the tri-spokes in staggered diameter, and there is no name. I don't remember what this would be. I think it's just called the Hot Wheels mini truck. But yeah, it's super cool. Convertible conversion, and it's got that little chrome insert piece for the shifter and the center console, which is kind of cool. You have a insert from the base for the rear lights and that twin center exit exhaust. Very, very cool little piece. And yeah, really happy to add it to the collection. So there you go. Let's see, what are we going to check out next? Yeah, I did. Actually, I think that the last time that I was at this specific thrift store, this was there. I didn't pick it up that last time. I did want to pick it up this time, because the only other version of this that I have is that pearl blue and pink anniversary series one from a couple years back, or maybe last year, 1 or 2 years ago. Now I have one of these loose, and it's cool because as opposed to the Matchbox casting of this one does have the wide arches, the deeper front chin lip, and but it still retains the classic mini hues basically. And this one, the paint is flawless. The wheels are missing a little bit of chrome on the lip, on the edges of them, but that's pretty much the only damage that I could find. So, and this is as found. It was this clean basically. So that is pretty cool. Um, let's see. I'm going to show you next. Yeah, this one. This one, I cannot resist this casting. I find it's one of those perfectly stanced muscle car casts that Hot Wheels has the knack of making, and be this really nice Ford Torino Talladega. Is it Torino GT or Torino Talladega? Yeah, 69. So what I love about this casting, well, obviously the stance. It sits really, really low and really, really well, which is great. But additionally, feature of this casting I really enjoy, there we go, is the fact that you've got that chrome insert from the base to do front fascia. And you also have the same in the rear, which makes adding details super easy. And I just love this body style. You know, I find that 69 was more of a Mopar-centric year, if we're talking about the best looking muscle cars, but this Torino is up there with them. Just like the same year Chevelle, basically, which is also a beautiful car. But yeah, I'm really happy to add this one. There's a little bit of chrome missing from the corner of the bumpers. But besides that, and I mean, obviously silver paint being much more forgiving, there's not any visible damage. And the wheels still have their orange chrome lip, which complements these side stripes really well in blue and orange. Got a blue interior to complement again the stripes, which is great. So good color combo, and it looks really clean in this silvery gray. So happy to get another one of these, and I do have a couple versions, I believe. Now, one car that also I really love from Hot Wheels, and in this coupe version especially as opposed to the convertible, is the custom 59 Cadillac. So the Coupe de Ville with the outrageous rear fins, the tallest fins, Guinness World Record fins. And this one too, super clean, very, very clean. It's got a little bit of scuffing on the roof, but besides that, all the paint is there, all the tampo work is there. It's missing a little bit of chrome plating on the rear, which I don't really mind because it kind of accents the details. Same for the corner of the front bumpers, but all in all, it's a really good looking car. The lace wheels work really well on this car, and here is your base in chrome custom 59 Cadillac with the GM trademark, and again, slammed to perfection. So we'll put this one here. Next, we're going to be looking at, yeah, you know what? I actually, and this, again, I'm reminding you, this is a dollar car, right? I stumbled upon this. So it's a premium, Hot Wheels Premium, with the checkoff on the side there, a Star Trek character from the original Star Trek series. Super, super nice yellow paint. Got a couple chips here, but super nice pearlescent orangey yellow paint. Car feels a little bit loose, but that is okay, because I might actually just poach these super nice premium Real Rider off-road wheels with the red line on them, kind of like steely looking wheels. It's got the front lights done up, rear lights done up with the old Star Trek logo. And here's your base. Again, no name on the car. It's made in Thailand. But I mean, I know for a fact that this is a Baja breaker, basically. Pretty much a Baja breaker. It's even got still those little round windows in the back. I was really happy to find this one because lo and behold, so this was from the single dollar cars, as was the Cadillac. In one of the grab bags, lo and behold, what I found: an old school Real Rider version of the Baja breaker with the Real Rider tires intact. And this one does have an opening hood. Unfortunately, no longer has a closing hood. And this is pretty much a flaw of this old cast, which, by the way, was excruciatingly dirty, and it still kind of is a little bit. It's because basically this hood is made of plastic, and they were very tough to open. And once you opened it, it's 99 times out of 100, it would never close again. It was like a one and done opening hood deal. You do see though the V8, the carved V8 under there, and yeah, this is pretty much based on the Ford Econoline of the late 70s. Here's your base, a little bit tarnished, the Malaysia base. I love these old Real Rider wheels on the turbine style. You know, that was very popular in the 70s. You know, a Q-In Dukes of Hazzard example. So it's unfortunate for the hood, but I'm still kind of happy to have it though. And you know, it'll be a cool junkyard piece, and you see that basically it is exactly the same casting except for the hood. And yeah, this one definitely feels heavier. Not the same type of metal used for the base, that's a definite, but it is still the same casting except for the hood. So those are kind of cool. We'll open up the hood just to, you know, make an excuse to not make it look broken. And lo and behold, same grab bag, which is why I had to get this grab bag. And I mean, for $5 for both these Real Rider cars and a couple more. Look at that, fat fendered 40. Very, very nice. Again, had to wash this. These were encrusted with dust and dirt and grime. It's definitely not the cleanest that I could make them. And yeah, this one, obviously the paint is a little bit worn, but I mean, it's got all 4 Real Rider tires on those same turbine style wheels. Goodyear lettering's kind of gone on it a little bit. This is not a high raker car. It's got a fixed rear portion, and there you go. 40 Ford 2-door. I guess they weren't calling it the fat fendered 40 at that point, but beautiful piece. Nicely weathered, this one. Better weathered than the Baja breaker, at least in my humble opinion. But really, really nice. Really nice. These are the only vintage Real Riders I have in the collection for now, so I'm very happy to add them to the fleet. And I mean, I love old Hot Wheels, so why the heck not? Speaking of older Hot Wheels, this is definitely a piece I'm very happy to add to the collection. Not mint, but it's definitely a nice one. So this is the Race Bait 308, so Ferrari 308 GTB, as we can see from the front. It's a plastic base metal body car with the small black wall wheels. It's definitely not perfect, as you can see, but I mean, it's a Hot Wheels Ferrari, so I mean, I'll take it, definitely. But it's complete. You know, the window piece is slightly sagged, but I'm pretty sure I can kind of push that back into place with a little bit of persuasion. Wheels are a little bit, you know, axles are kind of tired, especially in the rear. But yeah, it's got a Hong Kong plastic base, and it looks good to me. What year is this? That's 77. Yeah, 77 copyright, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Same as the Lesney forklift there. So that's awesome. And last Hot Wheels I picked up, and this was a total surprise. It was in a grab bag, and it's in not that bad of a shape, honestly. And it's a casting that they haven't produced a whole lot. This would be the Pontiac Grand Prix stock car. Good old G-body. And I did not have a Pontiac version, I believe. You know, everybody's all about the Grand National, GNX, and the T-Type and everything. Or the Monte Carlo, SS, or otherwise. But what about the Pontiac? Well, there you go. Now we have the Pontiac G-body in the collection. You can definitely see, obviously, that, you know, just by the roofline, you compare this to the GNX, it's exactly the same roofline. This is a, you know, this is a badge engineered car, as GM was, well, Americans in general, really, really strong on in the 70s, 80s, 90s. So, yeah, it's a nice little piece. Very happy to add this to the G-body collection. And it's written here, stunt car, Hot Wheels stunt car. I don't know if this was part of a 5-pack or something like that, or I don't know. It's a 98 copyright, 84 Pontiac, as you can see, and Malaysia base. So probably a single. But yeah, I don't know. It's not perfect there. It's got a couple flea bites and a little bit of abrasion on the hood and roof. And obviously the rear spoiler is kind of missing a little bit of that really nice deep blue metallic paint, but overall it's a very cool car. I love the fact that it's in stock car form. You can see there's only one seat in here, and you know, you got the netting, and you can kind of see the roll cage a little bit through that very thin rear window. So that's very cool. Last thrift store find before we jump into the carded stuff. Third version of the Majorette Z3 Coupe. Good old clown shoe with the opening rear hatch. Best condition one I've found so far. It's got the more modern Majorette 10-spoke wheels. It is missing a little bit of paint on the fender here. It's got the BMW emblem. Lens lights in the front. A little bit of paint missing there as well. It's got the regular Z3 vents as opposed to the M style ones. And again, Z3 BMW badges, and the rear lights are done. Actually, kind of, it's got the M exhaust. Actually, these are M side vents. Yeah, because it's got that line going through the middle that has the M emblem on here instead of the BMW emblem. But yeah, complete car, pretty darn good condition, so very happy to add this one to the other two. One that's missing a front light that I'll probably get rid of at this point, and the other one that's got funky racing graphics. So this is going to be my clean street version. And, why not just pop the trunk there? There we go. All right, so now we're going to be getting into the carded stuff. So I've got one main line that I found, and this was at that same thrift store that has the dollar cars, the singles. And it was kind of pricey, but these series, I mean, they come and go, and I normally aren't really interested. This one I just wanted to get. It's this Lancer Evo 10, part of the, what is it, the holiday set or Christmas set or whatever it is. Yeah, I like this casting because it does have lens fronts, and on other colors than black, you can actually see that pretty well. Example, the Advan liveried car, I didn't even notice the fact that it had lens fronts. I actually had to get the color changer or color shifter, what is it called? Either way, the one that that goes from kind of like the Fast and Furious style yellowish green to almost this type of orangey bronzy red. Obviously this one's got the snow splatter all over, got the white wheels. It's a nice piece. And what year is this from? It's not that old. 2021. There we go. So yeah, cool piece. I like the color. Liveries is pretty cool. Oh, it's got the number 23 on there. Should have kind of guessed. But it's got real sponsors too. Toyo Tires, Bilstein, Castrol, you know, kind of cool. And you got a little Mitsubishi logo there as well. So nice, nice cast details in the back. Front has a mix of inserts from the base and the, is it the base? Yeah, it's got a gray base, so yeah. The base and the window piece for the lights, so that's very cool. Nice little car. So won't be cracking this one open, so I'll put it in the back here. One that I will not be cracking as well. I did stumble upon the latest Fast and Furious set, and I managed to pick up the two cars I actually wanted in this set. First one being this new casting of the box Chevy Caprice. This was driven by Roman in, what was it? Furious 7. So it's really nice, like this gloss gray with the retro 5-slot wheels, pretty much color matched in the center with the red lip. It's got obviously modified fenders, and it's kind of built in a semi NASCAR, semi demolition derby type build. Really nicely detailed, and you know, you can see it's like stripped down. You look at the windows, it's got some hood pins on the front, as you can see. You know, the bumper trim on the back is clearly has been taken off, as you can see the rivets there. And yeah, just overall really cool. Nice to have a Hot Wheels version of the box Chevy to add to the multiple Maisto, Greenlight versions that I have. I believe I have an older Majorette one as well, so you know, about time that we get this from Hot Wheels too. And it's one of those really cool cars that don't have a lot of screen time, but to me at least just make it nicer because of the originality. First of the cars that we're going to be cracking open is the other one that I wanted from this set, and it's seemingly half and half. It's peg warmer in some places and impossible to find, the toughest one to find in others. The 180 SX Type X S13 Nissan S chassis, 96, so a late version, as these were discontinued I believe in 98, well after the S14 started and almost when the S14 ended actually. So yeah, the hatch version of the S13 lived all the way through to the end of the S14 generation in Japan. So that's all. That's a cool little fact. So it's got the concave, smaller, modern 5-spokes wheel riders. Really nice medium blue, very metallic paint. Nice metal chassis. And this one is getting opened because I do have the original release of this in premium from the Street Tuners set out of 2017. So this one I had to get when I saw it on the pegs. And all 5 cars in this set were there. Repeat, not the best cast. FJ Cruiser, I mean, I have a couple FJ Cruisers already from different brands, so I didn't feel the need to get this one, just like I didn't feel the need to get the Johnny Lightning one that I stumbled upon in a hobby store. But this, can't get enough of my S chassis cars, so let's get her open. All right. Oh yeah, this is a beauty. Look at this thing. In your opinion, guys, which one is better, this one or the Super in blue with the white graphics? Which one would you rather have on hand? Value not being you know, any type of metric in this question. Personally, I'll go with this clean version here. It's got all the details that are missing from the main line. Very nicely spaced out wheels that have a little bit of poke, you know, in the late style. Body, wing, lights, twin exhaust on the back, making it look kind of stockish. And the infamous Type X bumper, side skirts. It's missing the spats on the back, but that's fine. No mirrors, which is a shame. But this is an older casting, so it's a casting that's been around for 8-9 years in the main line at least, maybe more. First edition that was one of my Grail cars that I do not have in the collection. There we go. So we'll put how about we put this guy front and center because it looks so good. That Type X bumper. There we go. And we're going to continue on with a couple Matchbox collectors that I actually managed to find. First one was going to be this Mercedes 450 SEL 1980 model. Great color on this, and I kind of like the steelies being kind of like chrome color coated, kind of, you know what I mean. And these I always crack open because they come with a collector box, so you know you have to crack those open. All right. All right. So here's your box. Your regular Matchbox collector boxes that we're used to seeing. And here's the car. So these are rubber, these are rubber tires, plastic base, as you can see, and a pretty good casting. I mean, obviously, it's got mirrors, which is great. I thought there was no mirrors, but there actually are. You can see that they actually took the time to put some details on the parcel shelf. I believe this is sound system, you know, 2 speakers and an amp or something like that. It's got opening doors. Very mainline interior with the Frisbee steering wheel, but you know, still shut lines are pretty big, but it's a cool car. I love the tampo work on the back, very nice. Tampo work on the front, and this really reminds me of the car in Ronin, out of which Robert De Niro actually shoots rockets out of a mini bazooka gun at cars that they're chasing to get that case. And yeah, not exactly the same colors, more greenish, the ones that they drove, but it's the same model though, so pretty cool. So not quite a movie car, but still have you know, still reminiscent of movie car, at least in the model and everything. All right, and the other one that I wanted to crack open is this one, which I was highly anticipating because I love the spec of it, the steelies, the dark gray, and I love the style of this car. This actually, the rear end treatment of this car actually lent itself to the Audi A7 rear end styling, for those who don't know. And I'll do a quick compare with another vehicle that has a very similar styling but is definitely not of the same origin. So 69 Audi 100 Coupe S. Let's get them open. Again, box, same deal. Put that there. And here's the car. No opening parts on this one, but this one is very heavy because it's got a metal base. And more of these collectors cars are actually coming out with metal bases, which is always a nice surprise because you can't really see the base with the box underneath. So yeah, metal base, plastic bumpers, nice amount of details, great front details, great rear details, a little bit of bright work here and there for the sides, and I love these wheels with the rubber tires. These wheels look so good on vintage cars, so definitely a nice one. Yep, brand new casting. So, and the one I wanted to compare it to, 2 years prior to this, and this by the way was styled by a German working for Audi. So this was styled in-house. But look at this. Bertone actually released a very similar design 2 years prior through this Fiat Coupe, Fiat Dino Coupe. So it had the Fiat, parts, but the Dino V6 out of the 246 GT in GTS. Started off with 2 liters, then it grew to 2.4. And this also had a Spider version that came out the same year as the Audi in '69, that was not styled by Bertone. It was styled by Pininfarina. So pretty cool. So, but look at the body lines, how they're so similar. Try and get a, there you go. Look at that. Super similar. So I'm guessing that this design, this in-house Audi design, strongly inspired by this Italian styling house outsourced design. So very similar, wouldn't you say? Oh boy, sorry about that. Very similar. So yeah, I thought that was an interesting little tidbit. So there you go, Audi Coupe. So this is a how should we call this? A like Audi Quattro kind of car. First foray for Audi into a sport coupe, and yeah, it looks really good. So yeah, last piece that I picked up. We're not going to be opening it or anything for now, I think, but went to a local pharmacy, and they normally have a fair selection of not so common die cast. If we're talking, stuff that you just don't really find that much. This is an example of it. 130 something scale Honda Civic Type R. I believe this is what, the FK8 or something like that. But yeah, dark blue. And this is like the same price as, basically, it's a box version of those pullbacks that you see in stores on the rack there. This is a Maisto, but you have some from Kinsmart and all that stuff. This is pretty much part of that same line of cars, basically, that you normally would get in boxes of 12 and or 18 or 24 or whatever, and they just open the box, put them on shelves, or just leave the boxes there. This pharmacy actually had a bunch of these that were boxed individually, and I almost picked up also the current gen Tundra that was available, and it looked to be around 1/43rd scale, as opposed to this one is probably 1/36th or 1/38th scale. It's definitely smaller than 132, but it's definitely bigger. Actually, well, it could be 143. Could be 143. Because this on top is true 1/43rd, and it's not a big car. So, yeah, maybe it's a 1/43rd scale, but it looks good. It's not a pullback, and yeah, it's officially a licensed product. All the boxes are the same. Maisto tends to do that for price cutting reasons, make sure that they stay affordable. But look at that, all these licensed, all these manufacturer licenses, pretty cool. So I thought that was a cool pickup, and yeah, we'll definitely open that another time. For now, that's pretty much all I have. Hopefully you enjoyed this showcase. You can let me know in the comments which one was your favorite. What did you think of a little comparo with the Audi and the Dino Fiat? I find it's kind of interesting that they're very similar like that. And yeah, on that, I'll let you go. Hopefully you have a great weekend. All the best of luck on those pegs. And till next time, stay safe out there. Catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.